Hello, welcome to the Pinfall Podcast,
Hello.
where our microphones sometimes aren't turned towards us.
You're freezing a lot.
Oh, rats. Um, Happy Monday.
This was raw. Sucked.
Remember last week when we were like, actually, this wasn't a bad episode of Raw.
I thought it was a bad episode of Raw.
Last week?
Yeah. Because remember, did Karrion lose to Jeff Hardy?
I thought that was the funniest thing that has ever happened in Raw.
Now today was filled with rematches, number one contender matches that are against the champion, and one nice thing, Mustafa and Mansoor against T-Bar and Mace. That was nice.
That was sweet.
There were a total of 10 matches today. They really either had nothing to fill those 3 hours, or they just really wanted to please that audience by giving a ton of matches. But that is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I suffered for most of it. So when this episode of the podcast goes by really quickly, that's because I hated 90% of these matches.
That's fair. I gave one match
After like the eighth,
Hmm?
it's like, so after the eighth, I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's wrestling. We've seen the same match already.
Yeah. Yeah. Gave one match a 2 today. But you know what? There is one positive. There's one positive to look at. I can't tell how you're reacting because your camera was frozen, but now you're back.
Horrible.
There was no Jackson Riker.
Unfortunately, that means no Elias, but
Yeah. But and also there was some other good news in that we didn't see any NXT call-ups happen today that would have been horrible. No Austin Theory on Raw. No Johnny Gargano on Raw. Indy. I think they're looking to bring up Indy Hartwell as well. Really break up Index. But you notice on fucking main roster. Or actually, I'll just say this for Raw. I don't know if this will apply to SmackDown either. Probably not. There's no unique stories. Like, there's nothing that feels actually original.
the thing too is that like because we got like no promos, we weren't even given the chance for a story with anything.
Besides Charlotte and Nikki and
Only
Bobby and Sheldon and Cedric.
the only story that feels like I don't even know about this. I was gonna say the only story that feels vaguely original is Drew and Jinder, but I don't even know
Not
about that.
even. It's just two guys fighting. Like, it's you took my opportunity. I'm gonna fight you. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
I mean, for comparison, look at NXT. Look at Index, for example. Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis, where that's you don't see a girl falls in love with a strong man who never talks and tortures people, and her adopted family doesn't like it.
Also, it's done in a tasteful way.
It is, yeah. Also, look at like Hit Row and their beef with Legato. Look at what's another example? Samoa Joe and Karrion Cross. That's original. Or let me think more women's side. Xia Li. Look at Xia Li. Even though she'll probably be called up
Once
to the
was
main
Xia
roster.
Li. No, I think Xia Li is like injured.
Yeah, but I think if she wasn't, she'd be getting called up because she had a dark match for Raw, I think.
Yeah, but so has like a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Have a lot of other people.
I see those dark matches as them, kind of considering who they want. Like Vince probably went into the Performance Center, saw these people who might be interesting, and then the next step is to see them in dark matches. But yeah. Oh, the LA Knight Cameron Grimes story. That's original.
You don't watch Seinfeld.
I'm talking everything from like starting like from the beginning of their feud with the whole Ted DiBiase story to now.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I was watching an LA Knight, or he was Eli Drake back then. I was watching a match when he was in an Impact, and he had a monster ball match against Abyss at Homecoming. I think it was 2019, where the story was that Eli Drake wanted to put a stop to all hardcore matches. And so he wanted to do so by taking on Abyss, who's basically the namesake of the Monster Ball stipulation, which is just like anything goes kind of thing. They're like thumbtacks, a nail bat, stuff like that. And that's like a story you don't hardly see anymore. At least like a variation done for WWE. You don't see anything like that in AEW. Like, there's so much stuff you can like pull from just the past couple of years. Just like do variations of, or not outright steal, but still. I mean, WWE's recycling the same shit every week.
Especially Raw.
Yeah.
SmackDown is still doing, in my opinion, slightly better than Raw.
Yeah, because like look at Corbin.
And it's not that you gotta have an original story. You can take a story that's been done before as long as you put like a new twist on it. It's like any other form of storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. I don't know, but anyway, well, we should get on with the episode now that we talked so much about that.
yeah, we can talk about the news if you'd like.
No, let's skip that.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, news.
First piece of news. My stomach hurts because I had ice cream today. That's your first piece of news for the day.
Okay.
Second piece of news is me pulling up the news. So let's start with some non-WWE shit. Forced. Britt Baker has a broken wrist.
She still wrestled a match with it though.
Yep, and she's going to continue to.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, she doesn't wrestle that many matches like week in and week out, but still.
I mean, Chelsea Green's doing it.
I guess it's not that awful to wrestle with a broken wrist if that many people are doing it.
Yeah.
Only 2 people, but that's still more people than I would expect to wrestle with a broken wrist.
Probably depends.
Or broken anything.
Probably depends on the severity of it. Especially if you have a brace, you might be able to take whatever is dealt.
Possible. Other pieces of news. Nick Camarado proposed to Ref Becky, who is a referee at MLW. Proposed to her during one of their shows. I think 2 nights ago. It's nice.
Yeah, good for them.
Reminds me that Nick Camarado is a real person.
Yeah.
Get that sometimes.
Do you think he still wears a straitjacket, especially when he proposed?
So, I hope he's like, gotta keep this in kayfabe. Also, AEW news: Layla Hirsch trademarked her ring name, Layla Hirsch, as well as legit Layla Hirsch.
Good for her.
Yes, we have so much AEW news. I'm sorry. Emi Sakura is returning to AEW after being gone for a little while. Which is cool.
I have no idea who she is.
I can tell you all about her in like 5 seconds. So, she apparently booked a one-way ticket to the States and is teasing a match with Britt Baker. She made her AEW debut at Double or Nothing in 2019, teaming with Aja Kong and Yuka Sakazaki. Face Hikaru Shida, Riho, and Ryo Mizunami. She competed in the Women's Championship tournament. And she last wrestled in a 6-woman tag contest during the Japanese bracket final show in February. So I don't really know where she's been or what she has done. But pretty exciting. Also, just as a confirmation, because I know we've been talking about this, Peter Avalon is injured. He has been injured since February, I believe. That's why we have not seen him wrestle. I kind of thought that was just common knowledge that we just didn't know.
Yeah.
But then there was an article about it, and I was like, oh, okay. So I guess no one's really talked about it. Also, in follow-up, actually, to Miriam's question, Friday, I think. Recently, AEW followed the band Living Color on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that was CM Punk's his walkout was Cult of Personality by Living Color.
Yeah.
And so people are kind of thinking that because AEW recently followed them, maybe it kind of signals that he might be using that song as his walkout for AEW.
I never trust those follow things because I know CM Punk is notorious for doing trolls like that.
Well, AEW followed them.
Yeah, you don't know. You could have texted the social media guy and be like, "Hey, follow my band."
My band.
Or they could have seen like what kind of reaction it would have gotten online. They followed it. I mean, obviously, there's an article out about them following the band, so
sure.
Obviously, it was some kind of PR move.
Possibly, but maybe not. Maybe not stably.
I don't know.
The final piece of AEW news is that AEW is donating $100,000 to Safe Alliance as part of their Fight for the Fallen event, which goes towards domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. So that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's like a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. Not to Tony Khan.
Yeah. But hey, am I shocked at all? AEW does this shit on the semi-regular, it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Pride Month, they did the whole Pride clothing that went to charity.
Yep. So, I'm not gonna use this time to compare them to WWE. It's just like they seem like whoever's in charge of like the charity side of things, they're so good at what they do. That's not meant facetiously. I mean, like they got a good idea what the fuck is going on. That said, though, a couple pieces of WWE news. As everybody probably knows, already has COVID. People are blaming Karrion Kross, which
You cut off just to say Jeff Hardy has COVID.
yeah.
And you froze when you were doing that weird face, and you froze doing that
No,
weird
come
face again.
on.
Every weird face you make, you freeze on. Sorry.
Anyways, Jeff Hardy has COVID. That's why he was not wrestling tonight. He was supposed to wrestle Karrion Kross as part of a rematch where Karrion Kross was probably going to win. Instead, we had to watch him beat Keith Lee.
And Jeff Hardy had to cancel an event, I believe, that he was supposed to attend. I think like a fan event or something.
Okay. Other pieces of WWE news. WWE is apparently returning to Saudi Arabia this year. They apparently, it's rumored by Andrew Zarian that it's on October 21st. Assuming there are no restrictions, that is. But it's apparently rumored to be October 21st or possibly Crown Jewel, possibly Super Showdown.
Probably Super Showdown. Well, actually, 2020
I
had
prefer
Super
Crown
Showdown.
Jewel, honestly.
What's the difference?
I don't know. Crown Jewel, I always feel like I've watched like old Crown Jewels and I've been like, this is fun. And I've watched old Super Showdowns and I'm like, this is dumb.
What? Oh, a Crown Jewel last time, or the last Crown Jewel had that Battle Royal thing. Let's see, Crown Jewel WWE 2018. I think that was the last one. Oh, Crown Jewel 2018 had DX versus Kane and Undertaker.
End of that match still breaks my fucking heart.
Let's see, what else happened? Results. Shinsuke versus Rusev for the US title. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in the World Cup quarterfinal. The Miz versus Jeff Hardy in the World Cup quarterfinal. Are they not from the same country? Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley in the World Cup quarterfinal. And Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Angle in the World Cup quarterfinal. The Bar versus the New Day for the SmackDown Tag Team title. The Miz versus Rey Mysterio World Cup semifinal. Dolph versus Seth for the World Cup semifinal. AJ versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title. Brock.
Didn't happen.
Huh?
What didn't happen?
Brock versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title. Shane McMahon versus Dolph Ziggler in the World Cup final. Oh, that sucked. That sucked. And then DX versus Brothers of Destruction.
It was a fucking banger of a match, I will be honest with you.
So it was mostly World Cup stuff. I hope they bring that back, but like actually have wrestlers from different countries. Instead of just, I feel like there were like mostly Americans in that.
Yeah. Oh. Just be how it is a lot of the time for WWE.
Yeah.
The final piece of news tonight is that apparently the WWE is holding their first ever pay-per-view on New Year's Day. They announced it at Rolling Loud. After Bianca won against Carmella, she welcomed Trae Young, who is a point guard for the Atlanta Hawks, onto the stage, who announced that pay-per-view is happening on January 1st in Atlanta.
Didn't he also say he was hosting it or something?
I'll say it on here. But yes, we can't get drunk on New Year's.
I mean, we probably will because podcast gets us drunk.
Well, that's going to be a Saturday.
Yeah.
Um, that'll be a
You are
yeehaw
freezing a
ripper on
lot.
time. All right. Do you think I should close out of the call and come back?
Maybe. Maybe it's because of your 50 tabs that are open.
Oh my god, I will be back.
And none of those tabs will be closed.
I don't have 50 tabs open.
Well. And that if leaving and joining back didn't do anything, then let's just continue on. You're still freezing a bit, but
Alright, well I put the laptop on the fan, so maybe that'll help.
probably not.
Yeah,
It's an internet thing, not a eating thing.
Yeah, I actually have a surprisingly small amount of tabs open today. Just in case.
Anyway, is there any more news?
No, that is it.
Okay. Oh boy, so let's get on with the episode. Matches and promos time.
More like matches and matches and matches and matches time.
10 matches today.
How many promos?
Probably 4.
I think that's a safe bet.
We started off with Nikki Ash in the ring. She says, I've always wanted to say this. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm so happy we are all back together. I am standing here as your new Raw Women's Champion. This feels like a dream. In the past, when I reached for the stars, I just didn't have the confidence I needed. I was so afraid to fail. Then one day I realized if I fail, I fail. I am still me. If you believe in yourself, you can overcome all the odds. We can all almost be superheroes. This is so, like, I don't know. It's just like, just smacks you on top of the head with the inspiration. Like, we get it. We get it. You don't need to repeat the same message every single week.
That's fair.
Like, every week, it's believe in yourself, anything's possible. You can be a superhero, you can be almost a superhero too. Guarantee she'd still be Nikki Cross if it wasn't for Carrion.
Yep.
So,
But I mean, hey. She really got it over. So, kind
yeah.
of got a, what's the word? At least give her that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Charlotte Flair then comes out. She says, "Oh, Nikki Ash, that's nice. You don't have a happy ending, though. You as champion is a disgrace. You're supposed to represent this company dressed up like this. Maybe all of you believe she's a champion, but you have to work for it. I don't believe it. That's why I'm here, to add star power and perspective to this ring. Before this almost idiot takes another victory lap, let's take a closer look at what really happened." And she started getting booed. Rhea acted like a spoiled teenager. That's why you were able to cash in. I didn't even stand a chance. You stole my title. I'm going to stand here and continue to be the opportunity. And you're going to continue to stand here and play dress up. You'll bow down to the real champion. All this injustice isn't your fault. It's all your fault. You people. We haven't gotten a you people promo in forever. For months and months, all of you have cheered after I have been the victim of injustice. My name is Sami Zayn. You see people at work, at home, who are more successful than you. You want to take them down to your level. Also, just to go back to original stories for a second, Sami Zayn, his whole conspiracy theory with the documentary and all that.
Yeah. Which we never got to see.
Well, he's still talking about it.
Sure.
So maybe we will see the full thing, even if it's just posted on like Vimeo or YouTube. So then Rhea Ripley comes out and she says, "We're all so jealous of you, Charlotte. It's kind of hard not to be jealous of someone who held the title for one whole day. You're an 11-time women's champion. However, the only way you can win a title is by pinfall or submission. You intentionally disqualified so you could win and walk out. So it should be me going to this title rematch. I like this part. I like when Rhea's like, it should be me that should be getting this rematch for the title because you tried to disqualify yourself." Nikki said, "Who said anything about either of you beating me at SummerSlam? Each of you represented this division wonderfully." Stop it, Nikki. Neither of them did this time around. Like my butterfly represents this division. Like my butterfly represents this division is ready for a metamorphosis. I will leave this ring as Raw Women's Champion at SummerSlam. You can win. Charlotte says you can win everyone else over with your cheap bargain superhero outfit, but at SummerSlam, I'm walking out champion. Rhea says it belongs to me. And then Pierce and Sonya Deville come out. Sonya says, in light of these highly unusual circumstances, the only thing to do is make a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. I feel like that's not the only option. I mean, probably just result in Nikki pinning Rhea, protect Charlotte. I feel like that's exactly how it's gonna go. Then Charlotte says this is ridiculous. Sonya says, which will give both of you women a chance to become champion again. Charlotte says, this is ridiculous. She's a fluke. She doesn't deserve a rematch. I want a rematch tonight, proving you will never be in my league. Nikki says, you're on. Charlotte attacks Rhea. She then gets out of the ring to escape Nikki. I don't know. This whole... Like, yes, having a rematch between Charlotte and Nikki works perfectly. That is great right there. Rhea should be after, because she was just having a match against Charlotte. Or me. Yeah, I feel like that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like a triple threat isn't necessarily the best way to do this, but I guess it makes sense. I think the problem is Rhea hasn't had enough time on the mic for this. She hasn't had enough time to really put up an argument for why she should be getting this rematch. You know?
I think that's fair. I mean, I guess the other problem is that, like, we haven't really had Nikki built up as, like, which just makes all of this feel very weird.
Yeah, her only wins have been like those fluke wins where they were like in the beat the clock challenge. Also, your face is frozen on a very funny face and has been for like the past minute. You're just frozen like... Oh, there we go. It's better. Alright, so we then go to Damian Priest backstage. In an interview, he says Sheamus doesn't deserve to be champion. He's a coward and a bully. You'll know exactly who should be US champion. Fella. And then we get Sheamus versus Damian Priest in a god fucking damn this #1 contender match. Why? Why are we having these matches? Why are we having the #1 contender matches against the champion? The champion shouldn't be doing shit until he's facing the #1 contender. At the point where you're having this #1 contender match against the champion, they're already the #1 contender. Like, they're up with the champion. So they should be having this. They should be having the title match already. Throw in some other person. Like, Damian should be fighting Umberto. Because Umberto was he didn't he Umberto should have fought Ricochet last week. I mean, I'm giving WWE every opportunity to prolong this stuff because I know they like to. I know they like to prolong all this shit. Like, and this all happened all of a sudden when crowds came back, where they were doing these contender matches against a champion. Every week has several. Today there was one against Sheamus. There was one against Nikki. There was one against who else? It wasn't wasn't there another one today?
We had a title match with the tag team titles, and then we had Bobby.
It was Natty and Tamina. And then last week it was Bobby. It was Sheamus again. It was I think it was just Sheamus and Bobby last week.
No, Viking Raiders and AJ and Omos. That was a number one contenders match.
Oh god, okay. That's how they got the rematch. But like, you could be having, like, you could have these unique matchups where you just throw two people together in a number one contenders match. Yes, Miriam, Raw has finally broken me because they've gotten to a point where they're not fucking trying anymore. They're not. They want to have these big cards for the crowds with the champions on them so that the crowds have a reason to come, because they know they're not going to come to Raw if fucking Damian Priest is fighting Humberto Carrillo. You know? Like, yes, it would be a sick ass match, but they have a feeling that nobody will come unless, like, Sheamus is on the card, if Bobby's on the card, Nikki's on the card. If you're having Rhea versus Charlotte for number one contender, then it's a match we've already seen. It would make sense with the story, but we've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. They want that incentive, but it's so annoying and it makes no sense. And it goes with the whole fact that WWE doesn't like like they're all about moments now. They're not about stories, long progressive stories. For example, like AEW or NXT, main roster WWE just wants those moments. That's all they care about now. Like, they didn't want to prolong Nikki with the Money in the Bank briefcase, build her up to be champion level, you know, have a feud against Alexa Bliss. They just wanted her immediately to cash in the day after Money in the Bank. Yeah, that's my rant. Now we get Sheamus versus Damian Priest.
Yeah, we do. Damian looked good tonight. Alright.
Damian looked normal tonight.
Okay. My hands aren't working the way they're supposed to anymore. So we get a shoulder tackle to Damian. And Damian takes Sheamus down with an arm drag into, like, an arm submission hold. I don't know what the fuck to call it. Wrist lock, I guess. He punches Sheamus in the stomach to avoid being shoved into the buckles. We get a kick under the jaw to Sheamus and a corkscrew back elbow to Sheamus before Damian clotheslines him from the ring. I guess I'm yawning tonight. Priest then decides to fly onto... No. Priest decides not to fly out. Oh, you scared me. You scared me. Getting smacked by a cat over here. So Priest Thinks about flying out, doesn't not. He decides to go ringside instead and tries to take Sheamus down with a spinning heel kick. Sheamus catches him and then drops him up onto the apron. Priest then clubs Sheamus in the jaw, hits him with a bell clap before a spinning heel kick takes the mask off of Sheamus. You get a boot to the chest of Sheamus, and he does like that goofy ass thing where like he pushes himself up on the ropes, and I'm like, you're supposed to look like you just got the shit beaten out of you, and you're handstanding onto the top rope more or less from the bottom rope.
It's easier.
It's all right. It's like I saw him do that, and I was like, "You're just showing off. That's all you're doing." Damien goes and meets him up there, grabs him by the throat, and walks him over the ropes before choke slamming him with the South of Heaven. Sheamus, however, gets an Alabama slam off onto Damien, but he goes for the cloverleaf. Priest fights back, hits him with a series of strikes after getting to his feet. We get a knee strike to the jaw of Damien. And Sheamus goes for the 10 beats of the bottom, but Damien elbows his way out of it, kicks Sheamus in the face, and then hits the Reckoning.
Yeah.
I guess we're allowed to say that now.
Jimmy Smith called it the Reckoning. Probably because they might have made it either Jimmy Smith fucked up, or they made it official that Mia Yim is Mia Yim now, and not Reckoning.
Which is fine. Like, Reckoning was a good name for a move, and Mia Yim was a good name for Mia Yim.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So next up, we have AJ Styles and Omos versus Viking Raiders.
I don't know why I took a pause.
Raw Tag Team title.
Yeah. So Eric's in first. He hits a pair of knees that flattens Styles. Ivar gets in, Senton's onto AJ, and then Eric and Ivar are attacking Omos. Eric gets back in. He tosses AJ up, and Ivar slams him down. He goes for the cover, but Omos pulls Eric off of AJ. Omos is then, after a commercial break, gripping Eric's face before tagging AJ in. There's a headbutt to AJ. Ivar gets in, hits a crossbody onto AJ. AJ dodges Ivar, sending him into the corner. Ivar sends AJ to the apron. Styles hits Ivar with a fist over the ropes. He goes for the phenomenal forearms, but Ivar cartwheels away. He runs at AJ, who super kicks him. We get a tornado DDT to Ivar. AJ goes up and over Ivar's shoulders, landing on his feet, but he gets splashed into the Viking Raiders corner. Eric gets in, hits AJ with a knee strike, and then kind of bonks him. Oh, look at you. Ivar tries attacking Omos ringside, who kicks him backwards into the barricade. We get a Pele kick to Eric. Omos gets in. There's a spinebuster to Eric from Omos, and then Ivar comes in. Omos sends a big boot to his face, sends him out over the top rope, gets AJ back in. AJ hits the springboard 450 onto Eric to retain the titles.
Yes. And fine match. It's pretty fun. Omos has got to mix it up though. He's got to do something different.
I don't know. I like how many times he yells, "This is my house," because I'm just like,
that's the thing he's got to mix up. Like, say something else.
No, I think he's good. He's just reminding them.
He's got a great voice. He can say other things.
No. Let him keep saying that.
He should take John Morrison's like shtick. It's like, I'm America's Most Wanted.
How did it almost become Australian?
I don't know why that's the accent that came out. But yeah, like he should just say some ridiculous shit in that deep ass voice.
Maybe, give him some time. He's doing really well in the ring, at least.
He is. Yeah. He's kind of like he's like more active in the ring than like Great Khali, but not as much as like Kane, in terms of like large wrestlers. Like Kane would jump from the top turnbuckle. unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think he's getting there. I think he's gonna be a pretty good asset to the WWE pretty soon.
Yeah. So then we have Drew McIntyre versus Veer.
Like WrestleMania weekend all over again, except I'm in it alone.
I will start off by saying that Jinder and Veer come out with some other person, and Jinder says, "Drew, you are disgusting. Shanky was viciously assaulted. Before Veer gives you what you deserve, you can apologize." Veer just looks like,
Which Shanky was cruelly attacked.
yeah, it was like 32, 34
34
shots.
chair shots.
Mm-hmm.
Which, in my opinion, is not something a face does.
Don't worry.
I could be wrong.
Don't worry. There's it gets better. Jinder says, "Let me introduce you to the Maharaja's attorney. We are going to sue. We will take everything. So apologize. Let bygones be bygones." Like, Jinder just wants, he wants to walk away. He fucking just wants things, like, to be settled through an apology. Like, what's wrong with that? And then Drew McIntyre says, "Shut up, Jinder. Let me think for a second. Sometimes I can fly off the handle. I have a bit of an anger issue. We do have the WWE Universe back. That is irrelevant." So he says, "Option 1, should I apologize and buy these gentlemen a steak dinner? Or option 2, should I say screw the lawyer and beat Veer within an inch of his life?" You have the option to just apologize. Why would you go with option 2? I feel like okay, compare the motivations here. Drew's motivation, yeah, the Money in the Bank opportunity stolen from him because of Jinder, and he won't have a title match as long as Bobby is champion. And then Jinder, his friend, was beaten to an inch of his life in kayfabe. I feel like one really outweighs the other. Because Drew might only be held back for what? Maybe a year, a little less, a few months. Like, sorry, Drew. Also, Jinder's opportunity was, he wasn't given an opportunity like Drew was. So, I don't know. I feel like he should have just apologized, had that steak dinner, and called it a day. But Drew then says, "I want people to chant at you. Drew is gonna kill you. Drew is gonna kill you." That sound familiar to anyone? Like, maybe Samoa Joe, when the crowd would chant, "Joe is gonna kill you." You know?
Are you implying that Vince McMahon is jealous of crowds that are actually engaged in the wrestling product that is being put on in front of them?
Maybe you shouldn't encourage people to do the what chant.
Also, funny enough, so they had to reshoot a segment with Karrion Kross apparently last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the Samoa Joe Karrion segment.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, it was last week. It had to be. They had to reshoot it because the crowd kept chanting Jeff Hardy's name. And they couldn't use it anymore. And I think that's the funniest fucking thing ever.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's really good. God, I hope at Karrion's next match on NXT that they chant Jeff Hardy. Although,
do you think they're gonna strip him of his title tomorrow night?
oh yeah, I mean he fucking knocked out Regal. Either he is going to vacate that title, or Regal is going to have Karrion versus the entire locker room in a handicap match for the title. And if he loses,
Let Samoa Joe fight.
yeah, if he loses, Samoa Joe gets a title. Joe should have that title. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Raw, I guess.
Ah.
Drew McIntyre
Got
versus
so
Veer.
far away from it. Yeah, sure. Drew and Veer. So where we start is a shoulder tackle that flattens Veer and then a body slam onto Veer's back. Veer slaps Drew and Drew starts going to fucking town. And Jinder distracts Drew. Veer sends a boot to his face. We get the good old ground and pound as Jimmy loves fucking saying every fucking Monday night. If I don't hear ground and pound from Jimmy at least like twice, I worry about him. He fucking loves saying it. And now I have it in all of my notes because I hear it. I'm like, yep, ground and pound, you're right. So Veer body checks Drew down to the mat, hits a big elbow drop, like a very big elbow drop. Like, he got a lot of fucking air for a big dude. Then Drew clotheslines Veer. Jinder hands Veer a chair. Veer gets claymored. The match ends in a DQ.
Which was super weird. Like, this has happened before and it wasn't a DQ. This is kind of the Rhea Ripley incident again, where Veer's holding the chair. Drew McIntyre Claymore kicks the chair, hitting Veer. That's been done before and it wasn't a DQ. But that's one thing. You know what? Fine, whatever. But then Drew gets the win off of it.
Yeah.
Despite Veer being the one to have gotten hit.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, none of Raw made sense to me. So
I cannot wait for Jinder to beat Drew, because that is what this is leading to.
I'm just happy that Drew is now officially out of the title scene.
Still wants to be in it, though.
Can you stop? He's out of the title scene. Of course he wants to be in it. Like, that's half the point of being a wrestler. You know, like, in baseball, they aren't like, man, we didn't win the World Series last year, so we don't really give a fuck this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can, like, finally go back to enjoying Drew, and I'm just so happy about that.
Yeah. He didn't do
It's
any...
me great pleasure.
He didn't do any history lessons today.
Well, yeah, because nobody got a promo today, so...
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so after the match ends, Drew throws the lawyer into the ring, and he goes to Claymore kick him, but right before he Claymore kicks him, he flips him off. Rare bird on rare flipping the bird on main roster.
Rare bird.
Rare bird.
An exotic bird on the main roster.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm glad Drew was the one to, like, I feel like Drew flipping the bird was like it fit, you know. Fits his chaotic face persona, kind of like how Steve Austin was.
Yeah. He also had new gear tonight, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's all plaid.
It was nice. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I think it looked a lot better than, like, the all black trunks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm reprising my role of very much in love with Drew McIntyre. I think it's time.
All right. So anyway, now that you're reverting back to old times, we then have Doudrop and Eva Marie in Gorilla.
But
Eva says, forget about last week. After we win this match, we'll be one step closer to women's tag team titles. The evolution won't be stopped as long as you hold up your end. Jokes at Dewdrop. Eva Marie's so annoying. And, like, I get it. It's, like, her heel persona. But, like, there are annoying heels that I'm not, like, annoyed by in the same way. Like, trying to think of an example. Zelina Vega was never this annoying. Vicky Guerrero as a character is not this annoying. Her voice is annoying, but like she
as a person, she's a person.
Yeah, like she can have a normal interview and like I'll believe her.
Yeah. I think it's just because Eva Marie is not okay. This may come off wrong,
You can say she's not
so
good.
bear with me. What I was going to say is she's not really good at anything.
She's
Now that
good.
I've said it, there's really no right way for that to come off.
She's good at the Twitter clout game. She's been good at the heel tweeting.
Okay. She's not good on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that. I'm sure a lot of the stuff that she says are lines handed to her. So that could also hinder her. I'm not going to put it all on her shoulders, but she's not good on the mic. She's not good in the ring, whether it's fighting or existing. Not to get into the match before we're ready to get into the match. But that initial hair flip and then like the slap across Natty's face, I was like, it didn't even feel fluid. And the slap didn't even look like it hurt.
And do you remember that fall last week? Where Eva Marie just did that fucking pratfall, tripped over her own feet? Because her heels were too goddamn big? Or boots or whatever.
Did we ever find out if Alexa Bliss tripped her or not?
I don't think she did. I don't think that was the implication. I don't know. I think Eva Marie just like the whole bit was that she's clumsy.
I don't fucking know.
Anyway. God.
Shall I begin?
Natty and Tamina versus Eva Marie and Dewdrop for number one contender for the women's tag team titles. Number
right.
one.
Gonna be okay over there?
No.
You want me to send pizza in?
We had the faintest glimmer of hope that Raw was getting good. Even the Eva Marie stuff was like, it was looking up. Like,
Last week was a false alarm. At least last week we were like, man, Raw feels like it kind of flew by today.
I mean, this Raw flew by too. I'm not gonna lie. All the matches they made it fly by.
The last hour dragged for me.
A little bit.
Last hour I was like, we've got 3 more fucking matches before Charlotte and Nikki.
I think because we were dreading Charlotte and Nikki. I think that's the problem. But there is hope that next week will be good. Because if it follows the same pattern, score-wise... Yeah, I'm going to the scores for a second. So, June 28th Raw was... that was pretty bad. I give it a 4.84. The week after that, July 5th, was even worse. Like that was horrible. 4.25. But then the week after that, so it was bad, got worse, but then I gave it 5.71. So it got much better. And this is kind of following the same trend. Last week, 4.83. This week, 4.7. Next week, hopefully, a lot better. could follow that same trend, you know, kind of like how NXT UK has the trends of like setup show, great card, setup show, great card. I feel like Raw hopefully will be doing the same thing. We have something to look forward to next week, but I know that's not going to happen. It's going to be more number one contender matches. Anyway, I'm just ranting.
Getting into this. That's kind of the most of the show, and that's fine. You need it sometimes.
I'm so mad about this show. I hate it.
I'll have my time to rant. Starting now, actually. If I have to hear Corey Graves fucking talk about Eva Marie one more goddamn time, I'm probably gonna have a goddamn hernia.
He said he spent some time doing some research looking up Eva Marie. Carmella should be jealous.
I think it's officially time that I bring back the standing threat of Corey Graves fight me.
It would be great in the draft if they put Carmella onto Raw and then had Eva Marie fight Carmella over Corey Graves.
That is actually the most disrespectful thing I think you could ever do to two women.
But they would do it. They would do it in a heartbeat.
May as well make it like a bra and panties match too. I mean, we're one step away.
Like Piper's gonna break off from Eva. Eva's gonna be all alone. Corey's gonna offer the helping hand. Carmella's gonna run in and be like, "What the fuck are you doing with my man?" And they're gonna fight. It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be the worst thing. And then they're gonna also have a feud the next week that'll be like, "Oh, I'm the most beautiful woman in WWE," because they're still doing that, and Eva Marie would fight that. It's gonna turn Carmella face. Oh god, I just wrote for them. This is so bad. They would do that. They really would.
But yeah, so I'm back on my shit. And leading up to the Mike Romies, I will once again offer to fight Corey Graves. Whenever, wherever. His choice. I'll give him the home field advantage. But, ooh, big stretch. There's actually something worse that Corey does later, which I'm going to actually have a fucking fit about. But anyways, so we start with Natty versus Eva. And like I said, Natty, they do like that, like running it back and forth kind of shit before Eva stops, flips her hair, flips her hair and slaps Natty before running from her.
Right out of Diva's era. But also, I feel like that's Eva Marie's
We've got a butterfly
vibe.
back on the title belt. We've got Eva Marie. We're back, baby.
To be fair, like I can't really knock Eva Marie for this stuff because it's like her whole gimmick is like she's out of her time. She's not good at any of this. She's all talk, no bite.
Why am I watching a wrestler who can't wrestle?
For the eventual Piper breaking away from her.
Time could not pass faster. Natty, so Piper gets in. Natty can't German suplex her. Piper shoulder tackles Natalya. We get a punch in the midsection of Piper. Natalya is rolled up, and then she rolls up Piper instead. Tamina gets in. Side headlock on Piper. Piper hits a crossbody onto Tamina. Eva gets in, and then I hate saying this. I really do.
Okay.
Alexa Bliss fucking interrupts, and it was actually really fucking funny.
It was so good. It was so good.
I laughed.
I was because you went to the bathroom. I was cracking up on the couch.
It's just a parody of Eva's like Evolution promos, but it's with Lily. It's the Lily-lution. It's like, this is fucking stupid.
And Alexa tries to mock Eva's voice. The whole thing, it's done so good. It's done so well.
It was actually funny, and I was really mad that it was funny.
Yeah. Who knew the one to get Alexa Bliss over on us would be Eva Marie.
I guess when you're given the worst, everything else looks like the best. This distracts Eva though, and Tamina hits her with a super kick to win. It's kind of embarrassing that, like, I get that Tamina's thing is, one of her things is the super kick, but her finisher is the super fly splash. And it's kind of embarrassing when you lose to the super kick, which is just a move in her arsenal. It's not the finisher.
I mean, it can be the same said about Walter. But then you're forgetting that Natalia, she throughout the match was like limping. There was a moment with Eva that was like exceptionally awkward, and then resulted in Natty kind of limping out of the ring. And then after the match, she's limping out, being carried by, I think, her trainer, a trainer, and Tamina. And then it was reported backstage that she was being looked at by the trainer. So hopefully it's not a bad injury, because Natty is one of the best wrestlers in the women's division right now. And Natty and Tamina together they've been like one of the best women's tag teams since Bayley and Sasha. So
yeah,
hopefully she recovers.
And it was such a random tag team too, that like they. And I mean, to be fair, that was how Natty and Lana was. It was like, oh, I guess they're together, and then suddenly I was like, of course they're together.
You mean Naomi and Lana?
Yep.
Well, Natty and Lana was a thing for a hot
Oh yeah,
minute.
you're right.
And then Natty said, "Fuck you, Lana," and then ditched her.
That was wild.
She was like, "Lana, you're gonna reshape the women's division. Fuck you." Same sentence too. So yeah, that happened, I guess. Oh god, what the fuck happened to my computer? So I guess Eva and Dewdrop are not #1 contenders anymore. They could have easily have just fought like
Shayna and Nia.
Yeah, Shayna and Nia, they could have fought. Because Mandy's not on Raw anymore. Naomi's not on Raw anymore. Guess they could have only fought Shayna and Nia. And you know what? Next week we'll probably get another. No, everyone write this down. I'm gonna guarantee something again. Make a prediction. Next week I can almost guarantee for a #1 contender spot, we'll be getting Natty and Tamina versus Shayna and Nia. I can almost guarantee it, because it's so they're being so predictable right now. All right, so after that, we got Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee, a match that should not have happened.
Right on.
Keith needed a win. Karrion needed a win too. Can't give both guys wins.
So Kross can't lift Keith, who just sends some elbows into the shoulders of Kross. We get a belly-to-belly toss to Karrion, and then a shoulder tackle, and then Keith clotheslines Karrion from the ring. Karrion slams Keith into the post before suplexing him in the ringside area. We get back in the ring. Karrion's kind of like kneeling on the back of Keith's neck into the rope. Keith gets DDT'd, and then Kross gets the cross jacket submission, which I guess is what we're fucking calling it now. I don't know.
Wasn't it always the cross jacket?
I guess I didn't know that.
I thought it was. That sounded familiar when he said it.
Keith, however, gets strike after strike to Karrion after getting free of that. Hits him with a headbutt. He goes for the spirit bomb, but Carrion... Oh, I was just seeing my hand there. He wants a spirit bomb, but Carrion gets the Saito suplex on Keith, and then Carrion does a stupid fucking punch back into the cross jacket to win.
Yeah. It's a dumbass forearm. At least Keith sold the cross jacket well, although I think he should have passed out rather than tapped out. But God, this match should not have happened. It should have been like Carrion versus fucking someone in the 24/7 team, like Angel Garza. Have Carrion versus Angel Garza or Drew Gulak. Have Keith versus fucking Humberto, somebody. Anyone to get these people wins. Let's go back to jobber matches, which is like with like actual jobbers or like the 24/7 team.
Bring back Desmond Troy.
Desmond Troy. Although he was in the NXT Breakout tournament. So he's back. He fought on 205 Live.
Am I thinking of the same person?
The dude who wears the Kurt Angle singlet?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the Breakout tournament. I watched that match.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Alright, so then we have Nikki Ash backstage in an interview. She says, "My confidence has grown and I'm not able to fail, or I'm not afraid to fail." You've already failed once. Later on. "I believe in myself. Nobody can take that feeling away. I want the little children to know the hardest of challenges are worth fighting for. Fighting for. I think that's what I was supposed to write. No matter what happens, I will be defending my title at SummerSlam." Rhea walks in. I can't help but respect the belief you have in yourself. I believe at SummerSlam I'll be walking out with the title. Tonight I hope you go out there and give Charlotte hell. This is the kind of feud we need. Rhea and Nikki. I think that's what the women's division needs right now. Kind of two faces, but like one is like a brutal ass face. It's like gives the respect. Kind of like a Drew figure. Yeah, the women's division needs like their own Drew character.
Yeah.
And then Nikki, the baby face, who's kind of like the underdog. Let's skip this whole Charlotte bullshit.
I'm fine with that.
Can have her fight fucking Dana Brooke. Make a
Who?
feud there. Dana Brooke, you know, Mandy's old tag partner. Oh, sorry, she went to NXT UK.
Oh, we're never gonna see her again, are we?
Probably not. She'll be jobbing out. Alright, so then we get Mace and T-Bar versus Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. This match was a lot of fun.
Yes. This was maybe the most fun I had tonight.
Yeah.
So we start with Mustafa versus T-Bar. He drop kicks T-Bar right off the bat, but T-Bar ends up hitting him with a big boot. Mace gets in after T-Bar slams Mustafa into the buckles. We get like a tornado spine buster to Mustafa? I think that's how we can call it. T-Bar gets back in, hits another big boot to the face of Mansoor, who's on the apron, taking him off the apron, sending him around ringside, and then sending another big boot to Mustafa as Mace holds him. T-Bar then swings at Mansoor, who's still on the apron because for some reason T-Bar is just... I don't know. I don't know what he was doing tonight, but he seemed to be very distracted. So, because he's distracted, Mustafa hits T-Bar with a spinning back heel. Mansoor gets in, Mace gets in. Mansoor hits a crossbody to Mace and a hard enziguri. Or a hard leg slap, both of them, whichever. I'll mark out on this one. He avoids a spinebuster, hits Mace with a DDT. T-Bar then comes through, kicks him out of the way, sending him ringside. Mustafa then takes T-Bar out for Mansoor. DDT's him ringside, and is kind of just like, you have to pay attention. Like, this guy was about to fucking beat your ass, and you're just vibing. And Mansoor is like, all right. Mace then, as Mustafa goes to get back towards the ring, Mace grabs him, I think, by the arm, and Mansoor sends a boot right into the arm of Mace, making him release Mustafa. Which I was like, oh my god, they're defending each other now. It's everything I hoped for. So Mansoor is then nearly chokeslammed as he tries to come back in, but rolls through and under Mace, thereby rolling him up to win. Mansoor and Mustafa look very surprised. Well, Mustafa looks very surprised, like he doesn't know what the fuck has happened here. Like also kind of gives him like this face of like, okay, maybe I like underestimated you. And T-Bar and Mace are just screaming in the ring because they're so pissed off, which I loved. Everything about this match, between T-Bar and Mace being goddamn goofballs, to Mustafa and Mansoor kind of becoming friends, even though Mustafa clearly would rather eat his own toes. I loved it.
It all works so well. It really does.
Guess what? We'll probably get Mustafa and Mansoor, more of them.
Yeah.
Like, the chemistry that we just got here, we're probably not going to see. Like, between the two teams, we're probably not going to see again.
If you could name their tag team, what would you name them?
I don't know. Why, do you have a...
I was just wondering because, like, Randy and Riddle's RK Bro. What would you name Mustafa and Mansoor? And don't say Eminem.
I don't know. I don't... Mansoor doesn't really have a nickname like Mustafa does. Like, it's because Mustafa has Moose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Musoor.
Musoor. Yep. There you go. That's perfect.
Miriam said the Muslim agenda.
Yeah, okay. I think that would work.
I'd probably name them in the same vein as like Retribution, Relegation. Because once this feud's done, they're both sent right back down to job out for other people. That's what Vince would do.
This is not how it's going to... I mean, well, Vince might.
Yeah.
It is Vince after all, but...
Yeah.
Let's have positive thoughts. Positive thoughts.
My positive thoughts is living in the moment and being happy with all this feud happening right now. This is great. I dread that once this is done, they'll like feud, break up, end up just like Shelton and Cedric.
I think that they'll go longer than you're expecting them to, only because we're getting the bridging of like they're kind of doing a Nia and Shayna here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Except Mansoor loves Mustafa, and Mustafa is like, please get away from me.
I mean, hopefully they're another RK Bro. Like, I would really love to see them against RK Bro. That would be a fantastic match.
That implies that Randy Orton comes back to the WWE.
Yeah. Well, at this point,
Randy Orton is all elite.
Oh no. But like, could you imagine, like, Randy comes back, and like, I'm dreading he comes back and like feuds with Riddle, and then they break up. So because I just want them to fight Mustafa and Mansoor, because that's like a dream match I have right now. That and seeing Randy RKO Omos. Because you know for a fact Jimmy Smith would just yell "Timber" during a replay or something.
Yeah.
Alright, so then we have Bobby Lashley and MVP in the ring. This is the only time we see Bobby and MVP in this entire episode. So, MVP says, "Would you all please rise and show proper respect for your almighty WWE champion? Let's address what happened last week. Goldberg came out and disrespected the champ. Listen, it's real simple. Everybody's been talking about Bobby against Goldberg. What is it, champ? Is Goldberg next?" Bobby says, "I'm not even going to dignify Goldberg's challenge with a response. This is my ring, and I won't be disrespected by anyone." MVP says, "You heard it from the champ," and then, "Used to dream I had it all." Cedric Alexander comes out. He said, "Disrespect?" I wish I could do like the raspy voice he does. But like that
The
is
raspy, high-pitched voice.
yeah, but that is unique to Cedric. That and like a
that's
12-year-old child. So let's talk about how you ungraciously kicked me from the Hurt Business. I wondered for so long, but I figured out why I'm better than you. Or I figured out why I'm better than you. So today, Prime Alexander steps up, and I want my opportunity. And then Shelton Benjamin comes out. He says, "Hey Cedric, do you have any idea how annoying the sound of your voice is? I'm not here to cry about Hurt Business. That's over. I wish it wasn't." Oh, it hurts so much.
Would you say it? It's. Would you
It hurts.
say it's hurt business?
I like how you say that and immediately look down at your phone. You don't make eye contact with me. Oh, God. He says, "I'm here to give you a real challenge." MVP says, "You guys know how ridiculous you both sound." Bobby says, "I'll take you both on at the same time. Now get a referee." Like this whole bit was fantastic because Bobby was great. It gives a spotlight to Cedric and Shelton. Which I wish this would go on for more than this match. Like I want these guys to have a genuine feud with Bobby. Like I want Cedric and Shelton to put aside their differences and decide to take on Bobby together, only for them to start conflicting again on who would get the belt. And that becomes how they lose the match. But like, I know they're just gonna go right back down to the 24/7 or the main event group. Makes me so mad. There's so much
Live in the
better.
moment.
Oh, I know. Because you never know. Vince could decide to be very generous next week. It's all whatever Vince fucking decides. It's all in his fucking golden hand. So then we get Bobby Lashley versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander in a tornado handicap match. I think that's what it's called. Where both are in at one time.
You would know the answer better than I would.
I think that's what it's called.
Okay. So Cedric sneaks up on Bobby while he's beating on Shelton. We get a flatliner though to Cedric right after that. He throws him from the ring, or Bobby throws him from the ring. Spears Shelton. He runs Cedric into the post ringside. Almost accidentally makes Cedric kick a couple fans in the face because he backs up a little too far. He then gets Cedric back in the ring. Kind of starts like focusing in on him. Shelton starts stalking Bobby, but Bobby sees him. We get a pump knee strike to Bobby though, as Cedric holds on to Bobby, and then a DDT to Bobby. But neither man, because both Shelton and Cedric cover, can keep him down. Shelton goes for a suplex, but Bobby dismisses him, spikes Cedric into the mat. We get a spear that sends Shelton somersaulting, and then a stalling vertical suplex, or rather the jackhammer, which is a shout out to Goldberg, which makes me think that this Goldberg Bobby nonsense is not done.
It was not a stalling suplex. It was a stalling. It's like a brain buster. Like it's more of a brain buster than a suplex, because he brings him. It's like the 1917, like Finn's move, except
I don't know
stalling.
what the fuck Finn's moves are called, except for the coup de grace.
It's like 1917. It's the brain buster.
All I know is that Finn looks hot doing whatever the fuck he does on a daily basis.
That means you think Goldberg looks hot doing it too. They're the same age.
Can you show me the work that you did to get that answer, sir?
I don't show my work.
So we get like I know that we talked about the real name of this fucking move and I don't remember it. But we get basically a modified Razor's Edge.
Did we talk about this move?
We did, because I've called it the Razor's Edge before, and somebody told us what the name of the actual move is, and I don't remember it anymore.
Well, no, because Ethan Page's move is Eagle's Edge.
No, it's Ego's Edge.
Ego's Edge, yeah. Well, what's Razor's Edge? Is that Razor Ramon when he does it?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, isn't it the lawn dart?
No, the lawn dart is when like you quite literally javelin somebody.
Oh, right. I don't know.
Johnny used to do that all the time to Leon. Miss you, Leon.
Oh. Now he's.
But
on
we get a
tour
modified
football.
Razor's. We get a modified Razor's Edge to Cedric. Bobby stacks him. Does the other thing that Roman said he'd do, which is winning. Smash him and stack him. Is that what he said?
Smash him, stack him, pin him, acknowledge him.
No, don't acknowledge them.
Oh no!
Acknowledge him.
Oh my god! Like compare this stack to Roman's stack. Who has the better stack of pancakes? Like. Like,
well, Roman's had Daniel Bryan, so
Roman's was like a nice big stack of like IHOP pancakes, while Bobby's stack is like a diner's pancakes. Like the diner ones are much better, but it's like a lot cheaper to get than like IHOP, because like Bobby. Like, Cedric and Shelton jobbed out for Bobby for him to stack them. Roman had to really put in the work. It was more expensive. You know, he had to wait to get a table. He had to like get toast on the side too. Just Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso, whichever one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the IHOP pancakes just go in the trash, aka Daniel Bryan going to wherever the fuck he's going.
I miss him so much.
It sounds like I'm throwing shade at AEW, but I'm not.
I know I'm gonna watch him.
Yeah, you're gonna see him like next month or 2 months from now.
I feel like it's like when your friend breaks up with somebody cool, and you're like, oh, and like they start dating someone new, and you're like, oh, they're pretty cool too. But the other person just had that certain something.
No.
Okay.
He didn't know. He's gonna be like this is the better rebound. He will be a lot better and a lot happier on AEW than in WWE. I can almost guarantee it. We're gonna see him on like Impact and JPW. He's gonna be the new belt collector.
Okay.
Imagine him siding with the Elite. Ooh, what if they decide to run it back and we get the world's champion again? Planet's champion, I think that's what he called it. Imagine they do like that version for the AEW belt. Wouldn't really work because it was just like a few plates. Whereas the WWE one, they really could have like adjusted that. because there's like a lot of elements to it. Anyway, God, I'm really going off base. After that, we have the Miz and Morrison backstage. Morrison says, "This city is gonna get wet." AJ and Omos walk in. AJ says, "I've got something to talk about that's important to us. Unless you guys aren't moist enough." Oh, I love this shit. It's like so stupid, but it's so funny. Such low-hanging fruit. And then they start whispering to each other, and Omos is standing guard. And then we get Riddle versus John Morrison.
And this is when we get, perhaps, the most fucked up of all of Corey Graves' fucking sentences tonight. Byron gets sprayed with a dripstick, and he's throwing a fucking fit about it. And Corey Graves says, maybe next time you get sprayed, you can bring a toaster with you.
Do you think?
Or something to that degree.
Do you think when Byron got splashed, Vince was yelling over the mic, "Tell him they should have brought a toaster. Tell him they should have gotten a toaster. Corey, say it. Say it, Corey."
Corey said that, and I straight up had to like do a double take because I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Did you just tell a man to kill himself live on air? Because if you did, Jesus fucking Christ, Corey."
You know, toaster. You know, it'll dry him up, heat him up. Won't be wet anymore.
It won't be a lot of things.
He didn't say a plugged-in toaster.
Anyways, Corey Graves, it's on site. So we get an ankle lock on Morrison, and then nearly like a Northern Lights suplex to Morrison after Riddle moonsaults over Morrison. We get a spinning back heel to Riddle, and then a fisherman suplex to Morrison. Riddle takes the Miz out with a PK, sending him backwards in his wheelchair. We go to commercial break, we come back, Morrison slips out of the ring, basically says, "I'm not fucking doing this." Riddle follows him, gives him another PK, or executes another PK to Morrison. He then backflips off the middle rope down onto Morrison. We get a back heel to the face of Riddle and a running knee from Johnny, and then AJ and Omos come in. And Riddle powerbombs Morrison, hits him with a knee to the chin, and AJ grabs Riddle's scooter, hands it off to Omos, who snaps it. And Morrison hits the Razor's Edge into like a spike. And then a Starship Pain to win.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an okay match. It's pretty fun. Then we have, for some reason, like, R-Truth versus Reginald. What?
You don't just hear that?
No.
It's like thunder, but it's not supposed to thunderstorm. Something
Weird.
explosion.
But like, why did we have R-Truth versus Reginald? Why did this happen?
Because they haven't done anything with the 24/7 belt in a long time.
Yeah, but why was R-Truth mic'd for it?
Yeah, that was weird. That was a different choice.
I mean, like, if you're gonna make anyone in the roster, R-Truth is the one to do it. But, like, I don't know. You could have replaced this match with, like, Keith versus Umberto or something. Or separate Karrion and Keith into two separate matches. I don't know. But yeah.
I don't either.
R-Truth versus Reginald.
My commentary is not going to do much justice to this match at all. R-Truth tries to reason with Reginald. Reginald does a bunch of funky little flips. Truth is dodged, sending him into the post. He's dodged again, causing him to get strung up on the ropes. And then Reginald sentons onto Truth to win.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't a very exciting match. And then the 24/7 group comes out, chases Reginald. He dodges all of them, jumps out of the ring, and then the whole squad stares at him from inside the ring. But it's just like, you can get out of the ring and chase him. You know that, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the kayfabe behind having the 24/7 belt? Like, why would you want it? You're spending your entire time there, like at work, hiding or running. Why would you want it?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Like everyone else besides like R-Truth and Reginald or Akira Tozawa has had it for a second and then immediately dropped it. Like, is it worth that much to like? Yeah, like, is it worth that much to just go through the constant struggle of running and hiding all day, every day? And as we saw with Rob Gronkowski, you can be pinned at your own house.
Yeah. You are literally never safe.
But then we have an interview with Charlotte Flair. She says, I was dealing with a petulant child," regarding Rhea. "Now I have to deal with Nikki thinking she's a champion. I am tired of this division being run down by almost superstars. There wouldn't be a women's division if it wasn't for me." You know, if you remove all of the ego and the selfishness, Charlotte does have a point.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I
Like the whole
I don't.
almost a superhero thing is kind of a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, almost a superhero will kind of relate you to the audience, but at the same time, you don't have very high aspirations for yourself. You know, like, do you really believe in yourself if you're just almost a superhero? I don't know. Might just be grasping at straws. But then we have Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Ash for #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah. We get a bunch of flare chops. She tries to rip Nikki's mask off before kicking her out of the ring. We go like 3 minutes without anything significant happening. Nikki starts fighting back, sends an elbow to a charging Charlotte. We get an inside cradle to Charlotte and then a roll up. Neither work. Nikki hits a tornado DDT to Charlotte. Charlotte sends Nikki over the announce desk. She starts pulling Nikki into the post after a commercial break. She takes Nikki by both hands and starts pulling her like shoulder first into the post. Hits her with a fallaway slam. We get a crossbody to Charlotte. Nearly a boot to the face of Cross, but Cross sends Charlotte's own knee back into her face. And then we get a crossbody and a DDT to Charlotte. Nikki wants the sunset flip, can't get it. Charlotte lifts her up instead. We get a bulldog to Charlotte. More flare chops after that. Nikki sends Charlotte to the mat, goes up top with a crossbody, and Charlotte reverses to win. How would you do that?
That was a lame ass finish, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, it was not good.
Like, why? How would that pin Nikki? Like, it wasn't even a sneaky pin. Charlotte just like kind of rolled out, got on top, and won. Like, she didn't, you know, use leverage in any way to keep her down. She didn't like put her feet on the ropes, like nothing. It was a move that should have hurt her more than it hurt Nikki, but yet she won off of it. I don't know. It made no sense, but I guess she's added to the triple threat match now, which she was already added to. Then
Yeah,
yeah.
Why are we having like I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it. But what is the point of having a #1 contenders match when prior to the announcement of the #1 contenders match,
They showed the card for SummerSlam where it was the triple threat with Charlotte.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that before Sonya and Adam Pearce said, yeah, sure, you can have your match, Charlotte, they said, okay, at SummerSlam, it'll be a triple threat with the three of you. So why are we having a number one contenders match? What the? Also, wouldn't you want your number one contenders match to be Rhea versus Charlotte? Because then you can be like, well, Charlotte's the favorite to win tonight because she won the number one contenders match. I don't know.
There you go. And
It's almost like there's an already present second party
yeah,
that isn't a champion.
yeah. I mean, Charlotte straight up pinned Nikki. Like, no sneakiness or anything. She just straight up pinned her.
Yep. And then she gets a rematch.
Yep.
Which
it should just be a title match. Like this number one contenders match should have been for a singles match. Like, ignore the fact that this should not have happened in the first place, or Nikki shouldn't have been in it. It should be a number one contender for a singles match before the triple threat.
And you know what the worst part is? I think they know what they're doing. I think Raw knows what they're doing. I think they think that we're too fucking stupid to figure out the fact that they're doing something stupid. I genuinely believe that.
No, I think, like I mentioned before, I think they want their champions on the card like every week. So they're doing stuff like this. So that they could have their champions be at the shows and give people a reason to show up. It's stupid. So stupid. But I guess people like it. But then Kevin gets in the ring. Kevin McAllister gets in the ring and congratulates Charlotte on the win. And she says, "Why are you congratulating me? What did you expect? Nikki, 1, 2, 3. You thought because you put on a mask and cape you can have an opportunity? No one is in my league." Nikki said, "I said almost a superhero. I know I can admit I lost, but I showed myself that I almost could have won. And I have the confidence that I can beat you. So next week I challenge you to a rematch." Okay. Alright. So. The almost won storyline, that those themes should happen on the way to being a champion, not when you're already a champion. If you're already a champion, you have to win everything. Like that's the whole point of being a champion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They should have had the whole, "Oh, I almost won" promos before she cashed in. Even before Money in the Bank, that should have been happening.
Yep.
It's like they crave these moments so much, like to just have these moments happen, and then after they happen, they have to run back and do the actual storyline work that should have been done before the moments. God damn it. Okay. So then, Charlotte then says, "I can beat you this week and next week, so you got it," and elbows Nikki. And that's the episode. Charlotte, just give me a swift elbow to the face.
Yeah, it's like right before Raw starts.
No, because that means you have to watch Raw while also having forehead pain.
Oh, I meant like knock me the fuck out.
Oh. So best of the night. Oh god. Alright. If you have a question for our question segment, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after the bests of the night. But leave it in chat so we have it there for that segment. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a question in the comments and we'll get to it in the next episode. Alright, so promo of the night. I already know what I'm gonna pick. Do you know what you're gonna pick?
Sure.
I'm picking Bobby and MVP, and then Cedric and Sheldon. That,
Sure.
again, MVP carries Raw. On his fucking back with these promos. His shoulders got to be heavy by now. All right. And plus, we didn't see Goldberg in that entire promo, so that made it a lot better.
Yeah.
All right. Wrestler of the night. Do you want me to run through all of them? Or do you kind of have an idea of who you want to pick?
Normally, I tell you to run through all of them, but with 10 fucking matches, I don't want to sit here that long.
So, my pick is Mansoor. He gave an incredible showing in his match and showed off, like, he showed off his character. So, like, he comes off as genuine every time. Like, he is so good at, like, acting as his character. It just seems real. It all seems so genuine. His love for Mustafa and all that. You agree?
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
Cool.
It's not something that we would normally pick either, so.
Yeah.
Extra fun.
Yeah. I mean, what, you had Damien, who I can't remember what he did in that match besides the Reckoning.
Damien didn't look as good as Damien normally does.
Yeah. He looked like he was rushing himself.
Well, probably because there was 10 fucking matches tonight.
Yeah. AJ was pretty good. Veer, I picked Veer over Drew, just so you know. Veer was good because I could remember some stuff Veer did. Nothing Drew did. Dewdrop was Keith Lee was pretty good. Bobby was normal Bobby. John Morrison was John Morrison. Reginald was better than R-Truth, and Nikki Ash was pretty good.
Okay.
All right, so match of the night. Let's run through worst to best, in my opinion. So, worst match of the night with a 2 out of 10. Eva Marie and Dewdrop versus Natty and Tamina. This match was it. Because not only, well, let me run through the list of everything. So, Eva Marie, horrible wrestling ability. Such awkward wrestling on the part of Natty that unfortunately was a result of of some injury that she received, but still, it's unfortunate. A very short match. Plus the distraction. I am not giving it a 1 out of 10 because I actually enjoy the distraction a little bit. And the fact that this match shouldn't have happened because it's stupid. Alright. Next up, with a 3 out of 10, R-Truth versus Reginald. I want to hate on the whole mic'd up R-Truth thing, but like, I mean, he did it well. It wasn't too distracting. But I guess Reginald just can't, like, he refuses to hit both men and women.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, once we finally got a Reginald versus another man match, I was like, okay, so we're gonna actually see Reginald wrestle. No, we still didn't see him wrestle.
Just ran away.
Yeah.
And then sat on R-Truth. That was it. Like, did they hire a wrestler that can't do any offense? Is that what I'm gathering here?
Listen, he didn't spend enough time in Timmy's training class.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm not doubting Reginald's abilities. I'm sure, like, all the shit he does with the gymnastics and everything, that shit's incredible. Like, he's got incredible athleticism. But I don't know why he's booked in these situations where he gets off no offense, even in a match like this, where he should be just wrestling normally. Instead of running away. Maybe do a combination of both. I don't know. So, next up, 4 out of 10, Karrion Kross versus Keith Lee. It was fine. It should have been longer. It shouldn't have happened. It should have been booked differently. But what we got was it was fine. It's pretty decent. Then coming in with a 4 out of 10, Drew McIntyre versus Veer. The match was pretty good throughout the whole thing until the ridiculous DQ happened. Like that was dumb. Then 5 out of 10, Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Ash. That was pretty decent. Wasn't the best, but yeah, I mean it was fine. I don't know. I didn't have any real grievances with this match, but I also just wasn't excited by it. Then also 5 out of 10, Riddle versus John Morrison. It was a decent-ish match. It was pretty fun, but then the distraction with the scooter happened. I was like, okay, this is whatever. Then 5 out of 10, Sheamus versus Damian Priest. Very short. Not a whole lot to it. Not very memorable. But yeah, it's fine. Pretty decent. Then 6 out of 10, Bobby Lashley versus Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Even though this was Shelton and Cedric jobbing out, I thought this match was a lot of fun. This match was more competitive than Bobby versus Kofi. But I guess it's because this is 2 people against Bobby. I thought it was fun. I like the little moments of Shelton and Cedric kind of working together, putting aside their differences. Bobby being this new revitalized Bobby that's just a monster. It was fun. Then after that, AJ and Omos versus Viking Raiders, also 6 out of 10. It was fun. There wasn't anything I didn't like about this, besides the fact that it was just too short. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I like the moment where Eric sees Omos kick Ivar into the wall and just has like this appalled face. I couldn't tell if he was so mad that Ivar was hurt or if he was in shock that Omos can now interrupt. But I mean, either way, it was a fun match.
Yeah.
Then finally, with a 7 out of 10, the match of the night for me, Mason T-Bar versus Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. It was so much fun. Having the story progression of Mustafa and Mansoor be shown in the match was great, and then Mason T-Bar still giving a good showing, even though this match wasn't their match. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. It was very refreshing seeing this in the middle of this mess that was Raw. Do you agree?
I do. I thought this was a lot of fun. It was a black sheep of a match in that, like, I didn't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And call me a cynic, I didn't expect them to really do anything with the Mansoor Mustafa story.
You know for a fact Vince is not touching this story. He's letting some like intern writer do this.
And thank you, intern writer. You're doing a great job. I really like this. I thought it was really fun. We got more of Mansoor's personality. We got more of Mustafa's personality. We even got kind of a different side of T-Bar and Mace's personality in their the video coming in.
Oh yeah,
where they were kind of goofy.
I mean, they've been doing in all their promos like the whole listing of animals thing. It's really weird, but I guess it kind of works with them. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just like weird dudes, and I really liked this match a lot. I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it also like very much resembles like my career in like WWE 2K. Like Mansoor is the playable character. Mustafa's like the friend you meet along the way, who's also like a rival, and then you wrestle weird teams on the way or weird opponents. One of which being Mason T-Bar. Yeah, because I've seen comparisons to Mansoor's story with my career, mostly with the whole Jackson Riker bits.
Gotcha.
All
I
right.
see.
So to run it back, promo of the night, MVP and Bobby Lashley address Goldberg. Wrestler of the night, Mansoor. Match of the night, Mustafa Ali and Mansoor versus Mason T-Bar. You want to answer some questions? Stop talking about Raw for a little bit. So Miriam asks, when will they finally retire the 24/7 title and let us have peace again? They should have retired it with Bad Bunny.
They never, ever, ever will, and you know they won't because it's something to fill the fucking time. And also, I guess if they retired it, we probably would never see R-Truth again, which I hate to admit, but
They
I think it
should
might be true.
they should keep it, give it a new design because this 24/7 belt looks ugly as shit. But they should change kind of how they do these 24/7 things where it's like it's not just chasing them the um throughout the stadium. It should be like it should go to a competitor and then people come in and interrupt the match and try and pin him, or it's like every match it has to be defended and every week it has to be defended. Not like
Yeah, I mean,
hmm,
I think they should treat it like a real title
yeah,
instead of this like,
comic relief.
yeah, like it has no meaning anymore because it's so easy to get. It's changed hands so many times, and it was funny the first few times they did it,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's just like
They can make it the main event title.
the last time I was intrigued by the story was when R-Truth got it back after pinning Mojo Rawley at his or Gronk at his house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there was also the time where R-Truth put the 24/7 belt on the line with the WWE title
Yeah.
against, who was it, the Hurt Business?
I think the only person who can have the title and like make me interested in is R-Truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think if I'm sure we will never see the end of it. At least not anytime soon. And if we do, we're not going to know it's the end of it. It's just going to taper off into the distance somehow. But I think I don't know. I think that they just need to treat it like a real title, and that way, like, it'll be tolerable again.
I think it should be defended on social media. Like, keep these bits, but put them on, like, YouTube. Don't
Yeah.
have them on TV.
That's also fair.
Make it like,
especially if they're going to keep it the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make it like
I agree.
the BTE belt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be their answer to that.
Yeah. I think that's a really smart idea, actually. Good job, Mark.
Thank you.
You cracked it.
I did. I cracked the code. So Miriam also asks, who do you think will take the Raw Tag Team titles off of AJ and Omos? Oh, it's so easy. RK Bro. They're being built up for that.
I don't know.
You don't know?
This prolonged absence from Randy makes me feel like they might actually break up RK Bro when he comes back.
I think Randy being gone, like, I feel like this is way too long and has gone unaddressed enough to where it's some real life reason.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying that he's gone for, like, story purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I fully believe that he's gone because something fucking happened. Something had to have happened. And hopefully it's nothing serious.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it's them. I really don't. I don't know who it is. I think the only people, like, physically that could do it is Mason T-Bar, but I know they're not really being built up that way right now.
No. I mean,
I
it's if it's not RK Bro, then it's Mansoor and Mustafa.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
I still think it's RK Bro because I have a feeling Randy will come back, have a promo with Riddle, and say, "Hey, while I was gone, I was watching you at Money in the Bank, and after that, and you really showed yourself. You really showed you can take care of yourself. You've learned a lot from me, so you've earned my respect." And then they go on to be an even more cohesive tag team, and then go for the title.
Do you think that he would say that after Riddle just lost a match because his scooter got broken in half, though?
Yes, because it's getting rid of his distraction. It's like a distraction of getting rid of his goofy side.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's Mansoor and Mustafa. I really do. I think they have the advantage of being small.
Still don't think, like, at least going back to WWE wanting those moments with RK Bro, you could have the moment of Randy RKOing Omos. That's a
True.
big SummerSlam moment right there.
I do think that they're going to be the next contenders, and I think that's why the WWE wants Randy back before the August 7th episode.
Yeah.
Because I think... Is that the episode? Is that the right date? It's not the right date. Before the August 7th show, I think is what they said. Because I think they want to build them up as the next contenders for SummerSlam.
Right.
I'd be willing to say that. But I don't think they're going to win the titles.
I don't know. Most like their pop from the crowd is so massive every time. I mean, they were chanting, "We want Randy" today.
Right. Randy has not fought a live match yet.
I know Riddle has gotten a massive pop.
Right.
And we
RK Bro has not yet.
obviously we all know Randy will. Randy will get a huge pop.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's Mansoor and Mustafa, but I think it'll probably be RK Bro next. Whether they get the titles or not.
Okay. It's very wishful thinking that Mansoor Mustafa will be the next champs.
You literally said it first.
No, I said if it's not RK Bro, it'll be them. Because it'll be a face team taking them off. But I think first and foremost it'll be RK Bro taking the titles.
Well, it's more so wishful thinking that we're done seeing the Viking Raiders going after them.
God, please.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, I know exactly what we're going to get next week now.
What?
We're getting Viking Raiders and Riddle versus AJ and Omos and Morrison.
That makes sense.
I guarantee you actual fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, we've been dreading like the 6-man tags, but when we actually watch them and we talk about them, they're more often than not our picks for match of the night.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, well, that's all the questions we have to answer. Liz, would you like to close out the show?
I would. If you tuned in tonight, thank you so much. And if you tuned in the future, thank you so much. Happy... I haven't done this in a while. Happy... Are there any holidays coming up?
No, not till September.
Okay. Happy Labor Day. Please tune in tomorrow night. We will be talking about NXT. It will be super fun because it's NXT. And we'll be here. It'll definitely be fun.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you
That's
exactly.
all I've got to say.
Exactly what's up next. Okay. technically today, National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day. And then August 1st, the one and only Colorado Day.
Good. Okay. Well, happy Colorado Day, folks. Soon enough, I'm gonna be able to wish y'all a happy first day of fall.
Oh, August 4th, Barack Obama Day.
Okay. Um, when is the first day of fall?
And I don't want to look it up because I don't want to be sad.
Isn't it like September 21st?
Sure.
Ooh, I think that's when we fall back. Right?
I fall back every day.
Sweetheart. That means we get an extra hour of sleep.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. You can see all of our previous episodes there. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eli23. And we want to give you a special reminder that this Thursday, a new episode of the Universal Pokemon Federation will be coming out only on YouTube. Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. It's a unique mix of Pokemon and professional wrestling. It is so great and so fun. Everyone check it out. Catch up on it before Thursday. It is. Liz is in it. She's the general manager. All right.
You should watch it just for me.
Yeah. All right. So catch us tomorrow for NXT. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody, and tune in tomorrow.